Well, look what we have here. Made in Taiwan. Spider. What is this? I think this is my headlights. I'm gonna see. So let's get this inside and open it up. What's up, YouTube? Just got back into town from a trip to Florida for my mother's birthday. It's like a 5-6 hour trip from where I live, just north of Atlanta to just outside of Jacksonville. And I got home, had a bunch of boxes at the door. Well, at least a couple of boxes. So I picked this Ram up probably about a week and a half ago. Decided I was gonna get all the stuff and customize it how I wanted it as quickly as possible. So went online and started ordering up parts. I got headlights, got a front leveling kit, I got a tonneau cover, I got a seat cover for, you know, when I get in the truck all sweaty and stuff after workouts. I got running boards, I got wheels coming. So within a short period of time, we'll have this thing looking pretty much like we want it. And the box that you saw there at the beginning turned out to be my lights. And I actually had seen that exact name before. I couldn't picture where I've seen it before, but the lights in my 2011 came in the exact same box. I think they were made by the same company. I think it goes by a few different names, but the name on the box was Spider, but I ordered it from, I'll post a picture on here of the website that I ordered it from, Top Gear Auto Sport or something like that. But I ordered the LED version of these headlights, so they came with LEDs and no instructions whatsoever. So basically you had to figure it out on your own. And just got back, and the excitement, it was late. It was like 7 o'clock, 7:30 when we got home and got settled in. I was like, yeah, man, you probably just need to go to bed and install it later. But I knew I wouldn't have been able to sleep up all night thinking about those headlights. So I was like, man, forget it. Let's go ahead and put these headlights in. The daylight is running out, but we got to see what these headlights look like. So there was no instructions in the box at all, none. So I went to, I had seen a video of an installation for Morimoto headlights. So I went back to that video. I had saved it on YouTube. Went back and watched that video a couple times, just kind of see what the work entailed. I was like, yeah, it might take me a couple hours at most. So I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. So I went outside and got to work. So if you are going to do this, it's probably just best. I was going to post like a tutorial, but there's no way I can make one as good as the one that they have that's on YouTube already. So like I said, I'll put that link down in the description. If you get these headlights or any kind of replacement headlights, it'll be beneficial for you in terms of disassembling the truck, because this is not an easy, it's not a super difficult or complicated process, but it's very tedious and time consuming, because you got a ton of push pin connectors, you have a lot of bolts, and you have these stubborn plastic trim pieces right beneath the headlights that are a real pain in the butt to get off. So I'm going to put this into a little bit of faster mode, and then we'll just keep talking over it. So here you'll see me working on the wheel wells. You'll have to undo the wheel well, the wheel well liner, in order to get that plastic trim piece off, to get to the bolts that will release the front grille, and then after that the headlight. So it takes a little bit of time. Like I said, there's a ton of bolts, so you have to organize them, make sure you know where they came out from, so you know where to put them back. What I did was put all the bolts with the part that they came out from. So like when I took off the top trim piece, the plastic piece, I put all those push pins, those plastic push pins with it. When I took out those headlights, I put the bolts that came out with those headlights next to it, so I knew exactly where they went. If they went with something in a specific area, then I will put them in that general vicinity, so I knew what I was doing. So it's pretty tough, tedious process. but very rewarding once it's something that you customize your truck and you feel good about. Now you have to take off this plastic piece on the top, and then you have to take off, there's the little kind of eyebrow that goes above the headlights and across the top of the grill, and then you have to take off the grill itself, in addition to those plastic trim pieces beneath the headlights. And then there's a plastic piece on that's attached to the headlight. So once you detach the headlight, there's a plastic piece that you have to detach from the headlight and then attach to the new headlight before you put them back on the vehicle. And you have to kind of do everything in reverse. So I was watching that video of the Morimoto install over and over again so that I could make sure that I was doing everything in the right order, because it's easy to mess it up. So make sure you got everything laid out, because there's no instructions that come with these particular headlights before you get started. And you know, just try to stay as organized as possible, and the install will go pretty smoothly. So now we're a little bit further ahead in the action. I've taken off the top trim piece that has the Ram embossed in it, and now I'm working on the other wheel well. You could do that, and you don't have to really do that in any particular order. The top and the sides, you'll kind of get to a point where you have to take the side pieces off anyway. So the order isn't really that big a deal, but it was pretty hot out there, so I'm sweating. And this was a little bit tough to get the ratchet in there. Unfortunately, I got some ratcheting wrenches, and the size it's 8 mils. It's mostly 8 mil and 10 mil. So if you got 8 mil and 10 mil, you can pretty much take everything that you need out. That's really all you're gonna need to complete the whole thing. Whether that's you know, a ratchet or like a ratcheting wrench or something like that, socket, you should be pretty good. So just folding that piece back and taking out enough bolts to where you can fold it back and get that off, it's a little bit tough, but it's something that you can easily do if you just put your mind to it. So the reason I went with these particular headlights is that when I saw them I searched aftermarket headlights for the Ram 1500 at first, and if you do a Google search, literally the only thing you're going to see is Morimoto. Like, you have to do a little bit dig a little bit deeper in order to find some different aftermarket brands. And now that since I've ordered these, I've managed to find some other ones, whether it's by searching YouTube. But Morimoto is heavy out there in the streets. Like, if you search it, pretty much everything that comes up, all the videos are going to be Morimoto. All of the links on Google are going to be Morimoto. So you're going to have to really do your homework to find another brand, whether that's searching on different websites or aftermarket, you know, truck websites to see what's available. You'll have to kind of do some research. But if you just type aftermarket headlights for a Ram 1500, pretty much the only search results you're going to get are Morimoto. The reason I did not go with Morimoto is that when I saw some install videos and reviews of them, the only part that the LEDs, you know, if you did DRLs, the only part that lit up was that bottom strip. So I have a Durango, and that bottom strip is lit up on my Durango. But the signature for the Ram, in my opinion, is that top and bottom kind of mean, grimacing, you know, kind of squinty eye look, you know, angry look in the headlights. So that's like the signature look for the Ram. I was not willing to compromise that. So that's the primary reason I did not go with Morimoto's. And these particular headlights had the absolute perfect look. They pretty much look exactly like factory, but without that frosted glass look on the bottom portion of the daytime running light LED portion. Plus, these also came with the LED low and high beams, so I didn't have to do anything. So for $1,000, I pretty much had everything that the factory light would give me, and without the smoke, without the frosted glass at the very bottom of the headlight itself. So I'm happy with the decision, and we'll see how the longevity plays out. But as far as visually, these lights turned out exactly as I expected them to. So here you can see me fiddling with these stupid plastic trim pieces. I got one off, and here I am working on the other one. These are a royal pain in the butt to get off. So you're gonna have to keep pulling on them, keep pulling and pulling and pulling. You know that it's a pain in the butt when they mention it in the install video for the Morimotos. You know it's a real pain in the butt when guys who do this like for a living have trouble with it. So if you're just a regular garage guy like me who kind of randomly shows up in the garage and does stuff, you're definitely gonna have some issues trying to get that sorted out. So just be patient with it, keep tugging and pulling, and you know, eventually they'll come out. Now there's a chance that you might bugger one of those, you know, you might mess up one of those clips that goes in there, but there's a whole bunch of them, so you know, maybe it won't make that big a deal. Plus it has a backing, that plastic piece that you see, the black piece on the bottom of the headlight there, you'll see that also supports it, so it probably won't be that big a deal. And it's a piece of plastic. At the worst case scenario, you might have to get them replaced and get some new ones. So here I am finally buttoning up the install on one headlight. So I wanted to test it out just to make sure everything worked properly, make sure I didn't have to send anything back. And so now I'm going to test them out kind of side by side. Actually, no, first what I'm going to do, here's the stock headlights, the halogens, the yellow beam halogens. I was using my wife's car as a measuring stick for the height, the line of the headlights. So now I'm installing the first of the aftermarket headlights, the Spider headlights. We'll call them Spider lights. So you just gotta kind of fidget and get these in there. It's not too bad of a process. You will want to make sure that you get all the clamps on really good so that you don't have any problems in the future though. See, already I really like this look much better than those factory halogens. So you want to put a push pin in there, and maybe one of the bolts that go in there, just to make sure that while you're testing them they don't fall out. Just something to keep it secure. The last thing you want is a headlight to slide out and fall on the ground and you broke it as soon as you got it. That would drive me nuts, and I'm sure it would drive anybody else nuts. Alright, so let's see what the difference is from these lights. Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, just take a look at that. The difference between that and the halogens. Like, the difference is night and day. And I don't even have on the low beams. Like, that's just me turning on the low beams. Even the DRLs by themselves looks better than the halogen, the factory halogens. So this is most definitely a worthwhile upgrade. So I'm gonna take this camera and move it over so you can see them basically side by side. You can clearly see the difference in the white versus yellow light. So that right there is just the daytime running lights shining. So that is your low beams, and you can see it's pretty much in line with where the factory line was. So I really didn't have to do any adjusting whatsoever, and it's not even all the way bolted in. So once I put the bottom bolts in, it actually brings that level down a little bit. But the crispness and sharpness of that line is as good as I've seen in terms of the difference between that and the factory halogen from any of the other manufacturers. So the Spiders were a little bit less of their quality, their initial quality on my 2011, but it seems like they've really upped their game. Like, the fitment is really good. They didn't come with LEDs before. Like, you had to patch in some LEDs, you had to put in an LED kit. Now they come with optional LEDs. So basically straight out the box, it has the LED built in, and all you have to do is plug and play. And very, very simple. So here's just a quick demonstration of the process that you have to go through to remove the bottom trim piece from the actual headlight itself. There's 3 Torx bits. I think it's T25. Actually, there's 5 of them. There's 2 black ones and 3 silver ones at the bottom. There's two black ones facing the front and 3 silver ones facing the bottom. Very simple, very easy to take out. And then you just take that plastic trim piece off, and then you'll put it onto the other light. So we'll kind of speed through a little bit of this. These are the 3 Torx bits that are at the bottom. Just pop those out right quick, and then move that one over to the side. Bring over your new headlight. And you'll just do the exact opposite to get that plastic trim piece onto the new headlight. Pretty simple and straightforward. This is probably the easiest part of the entire process, was putting this plastic trim piece on. You might have to just finagle it a little bit to make sure the holes line up, but they're fairly accurate. You don't have to, make any additional holes or anything like that. They're very accurate with the placement of the holes. So this process doesn't take long, maybe 5-10 minutes out of the process. Very simple. Just make sure that you don't strip any of those Torx bits, and you'll be perfectly fine. Just take your time. I prefer not to use power drills on power tools on like Torx stuff, because it's easy to not get it seated all the way and mess something up. So install those 3 at the bottom, and you're basically ready to put the other headlight in. So I got them both in at this point. Now let's see. So that's literally just daytime running lights. There are my low beams, which are pretty much in the same spot as that factory ones were, and those are the high beams. Low beams. And so I think now I'm going to test out some of the functions as far as like this low beams again. So I turned them off, and now I'm moving the camera over so that we can see the vehicle from the front when these lights come on. And they're so bright, and it's like so dark that it blurs a little bit as far as the camera. I'm not sure if maybe my lens might have been had a little bit of smudge on it, but these things are very bright, and that is a huge upgrade over the factory lights. So I definitely recommend this mod for anybody who's got the factory halogens. I thought I could live with them, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll get just a set of LEDs to replace the halogens, like just the bulb itself. And then I was like, well, you spend a couple $100 on LEDs, you might as well just get some lights. And so that's what I ended up doing. Now those are the fog lights. They're still super yellow. I'll have to do something about that at some point too. So you see the sequential turn signal. It's kind of hard to see here, but it is sequential. It doesn't all come on at once. It kind of comes on towards the outside. So it lights up at the inside first, and then the rest of the LED lights up towards the outside, and it goes off. So I'm just basically kind of testing everything out here, making sure everything works right. But man, is that a huge difference over the factory halogens. I knew I wasn't going to last long with those factory halogens, but for half the price of factory LEDs, and that's before you actually add the LEDs, I believe. Whatever the case is, you're going to pay at least $1,500–$1,600 for the factory LEDs with the running lights. And then you're going to pay additional for LED high and low beams. So if you add all that up, I think this is a great bargain for what it is. and to me, nobody's gonna be able to really tell the difference because it looks pretty much the exact same. And if it didn't look the exact same, I'd be okay with it because I really like the look of these lights. So now it's dark. And now I gotta put everything back together in the dark. So I'm gonna spare you guys all of that. So we got everything buttoned up now. And all I'm gonna do is test everything out. Like I said, it was hot outside and I was sweating. So I got smudges all over the front of the car. So I'm gonna wipe down everything here. But first, let's make sure everything works. That's the running lights. That's the low beams. I'm just gonna come up front here, check everything out. That looks wonderful. So now I'm just gonna kind of go through the process of just wiping everything off. Left the lights on while I did that. Just hitting it with some Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions ice wax. I don't think it's the hybrid solution. I think it's just called ice wax. But it's a very quick application. Works really well on pretty much everything. But my favorite project so far, I still have a tonneau cover. I think I might do a video on that. I have my leveling kit. I think I'm gonna try doing that myself. I've done quite a bit of suspension work on my Porsche over the years, so I'm pretty sure I can do that, you know, but I'm not sure if I will or not. So I'll just, if I got some time on the weekend, I might try to take on that task of putting on the leveling kit, because my wheels get here in a week. So I definitely want to have the level kit on, and then I want to get my wheels in, mount the wheels, and then go get an alignment, because I want to get the alignment with my wheels on my aftermarket wheels. So just wiping everything down here. Looking forward to doing some more projects on this car. I'm not sure exactly what direction I'm going to go with it down the road, but for now we're just going to go with some 22 by 10s, and those will be revealed later. We'll do that in a later reveal video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay tuned, because we got a lot more stuff coming. We're going to be talking about trucks here. We're going to be talking about trailering, and we're going to talk about track cars, man, because we got a track car too. This is a hobby, man. I really love everything automotive. I always have been very much into cars, and so this is something that I do for fun, for hobby. It just kind of gives me a chance to relax and, you know, just do something to get my mind off of everything. So I'm very happy with how this turned out, and look forward to many more miles of enjoying myself with these lights. I haven't had a chance to drive at night. Maybe I'll post a quick clip of driving at night, but I got to do something about those fog lights, because that's gonna bother me. I gotta get something other than those yellow, super yellow fog lights, and that's essentially the same amount of yellow that the factory halogens were. So everything turned out great. Everything works well, and I'm really happy with the outcome. So if this is something that you guys are considering, man, I would definitely recommend that you don't hesitate. Go ahead and try it out for yourself. But these lights look really good. And thanks for watching the video. We will see you in the next one. Peace out.